Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is part 9 of 9 for the midterm elections in 2022. Last into the state region is for today. That's the Pacific region, containing Alaska, California, Hawaii, Oregon, and Washington. This is not going to be a long video, at least I hope, because it's mostly safe Democrat territory, so most of the districts we don't even have to talk about. Let's start with Alaska. As per usual, Governor, Senate, House, and ballot measures only. So, for Alaska, we have quite a few things to go on. Most importantly is going to be the Senate race, but for now we have the governorship. Mike Dunleavy is running for re-election for his second term. He beat Bill Walker last time around by about 7 points. And currently he leads in the polling by about 20. So it's not going to be much of a surprise here. It's going to be quite an easy victory for Dunleavy. And there's probably not even a third round necessary. So I think first round you're going to see Dunleavy reach about 48%, something like that, 48, 49. Second round it jumps to about 51, 52. And because he is above 50, there's no need for a third round. Senate race. This one is the most important one in this video. Lisa Murkowski against Kelly Chewbacca. So basically a Republican in name only against a Republican. So what we're going to see is Kelly has already withdrawn from this race and endorsed Chewbacca. So all his voters will be added to Chewbacca in the second round. There is a possibility that she will surpass the 50% mark in round 2. It may not be 100% guarantee. So when it comes to polling, Chewbacca is leading significantly. And whether that translates to an eventual victory, that's a little bit of a different story because of the election overall. It's now a ranked choice voting system, which was instituted by Murkowski's staffers. And it's directly related to the results in 2010, where she lost renomination to Joe Miller, and then hosted a write-in campaign where she then eventually eked out a small victory. So we almost got rid of her. This time I hope it's the case that she is definitely gone. But then again, if Murkowski loses, there is a chance that in the next Senate race, so 2028, or against Dan Sullivan in 2026, she would then run as a Democrat. That's a very possible solution here. So it's a toss-up between the two. It's going to be very narrow. Either Chewbacca wins, which is a Trump-endorsed candidate, or Murkowski, which is a Bush-endorsed candidate. So there's not much further to say on this. Alaska at large. This one is also one of the big ones tonight. Sarah Palin and Nick Buttigieg, they play spoiler for one another. So we see that they both have about 30% of the vote. And because they refuse to endorse one another or direct their voters to vote for the other candidate, you will see that Mary Patola will probably eke out a small victory here. She will only be a one-termer though, because next cycle around I don't think there's going to be multiple Republicans running in the final four. So it will only be one term for her. Lastly, there's only a constitutional convention, and in the case of Alaska, they want to make sure that the Alaska Supreme Court cannot manufacture a right to abortion. They want to make educational choice for Alaskans a constitutional amendment, and they want to make sure that the judiciary is reformed to prevent abuse of authority. This is what the Republicans want, and see, there's only been one constitutional convention. This was in 1970, and it has been overturned by the courts at that time. So this is the reason why they want to curtail court overreach. I hope it passes, because there needs to be a proper balance between the three branches of government. Now we have California. Governor, Senate, House. There's not much to talk about here. Safe victory for Gavin Newsom. Safe victory for Alex Padilla. Most districts here are going to be safe in either direction. So Doug LaMalfa over at California First. Easy victory for him, 20 points. Jared Huffman, 2nd district, which is Eureka, California. Easy victory, 20 points. This is the new district, Eastern California. Kevin Kiley is currently leading by about 8 points. I think that's pretty much on point of what the end result is going to be. 4th district, Mike Thompson leading by about 30-ish. It's going to be the end victory margin like that. Tom McClintock, easy victory. District is swinging to the right with the redistricting cycle, so not much to worry about. Amy Barra over at the 6th, safe victory. Doris Matsui, safe victory. John Garamendi, fucking Italians, easy victory. I'm really shit at the Italian pronunciation, so I'm sorry about that. Josh Harder, 9th district. This is one that is going to be a narrow victory. Out to the 5 points. There is a possibility that Tom Petty can pick it up, depending on how big the Republican swing is going to be this year. 10th district. Mark Desaulniers. He's running against the Green candidate. There's no chance of loss there. Nancy Pelosi. You have to say anything else? Easy victory. Only death can take her from that office. Barbara Lee over at the 12th district. Easy victory. Adam Gray, the 13th. This is a new district. Yeah, currently it's a tie between the two. Adam Gray and John Duarte. It's going to be a toss-up. We're going to analyze this one later in 2 weeks to see which one is going to eke out a victory. Eric Swalwell, the 14th, easy victory. So, the 15th, Jackie Spires retiring, and David Canepa and Kevin Mullen are fighting for the seat. Both are Democrats. Mullen is currently leading by about 20 points. He's probably going to win. Anna Ashu is running against Nishi Kumar over at the 16th district, both Democrats. Easy victory for the incumbent. 17th district, Ro Khanna against Rita Stanton. Easy victory for Khanna. The 18th, Zoe Lofgren, easy victory for her. 19th, Jimmy Panetta, easy victory. Kevin McCarthy over at the 20th, easy victory for McCarthy. Hope the guy gets primary next time around because I don't really like him. 21st, Jim Costa against Michael Mayer. This is another one. It's one of these seats that can actually get closer, may get closer. We don't know yet. Currently, I think it's about 10 to 15 for Jim Costa, and we'll see. 22nd, David Valadeo against Rudy Callas. This district is swing district. It's currently in a pure toss-up category, and it's going to stay that way. So for now, I don't really want to say which one of the two is going to win because we don't know yet. 23rd, Jay Obenalte, easy victory. The 24th district, Salute Caballel, more than 20 points, easy victory. 25th, Raul Reis, It's going to be about 10 to 15 points. So, yeah, likely Democrat. 26, Julia Brownlee. It's going to be about 5 to 10 points for her. And now we are arriving at Los Angeles proper. So, you got Mike Garcia against Chrissy Smith. This is like the third time they battle it out. Currently leans Republican. And I'm fairly certain that Mike Garcia is going to win 2 to 5 points. This guy is a juggernaut. He continuously overestimates polling. So, don't worry about that. He's going to eke out a victory again. Judy Chu against Wes Hallman. Easy victory for Chu. Tony Cardeas running against another Democrat. He's leading by about 25 points, so that's not going to be worrisome. 30th District, Adam Schiff against a no-name. This one is actually a funny race, but he's easily going to win about this one. Grace Napolitano, 31st District, easy victory. 32nd District, Brad Sherman, easy victory. Pete Aguilar in the 33rd District, easy victory. Jimmy Gomez against fellow Democrat David Kim over at the 34th. He's going to win by about 15 points. 35th District, Norma Torres is leading by about 25, so that's not worrisome. Easy victory. Ted Lieu, easy victory. Sidney Kemlanger and Jan Perry are running both to succeed Karen Bass, who's running for the mayor. She's probably going to win that one. Sidney is currently leading by about 25 points. Probably going to win. The 38th District, Linda Sanchez, easy victory. Mark Takano over the 39th, easy victory. 40th District, Young Kim. She's currently leading by about 10. I think that's accurate. This is a bit of a neocon seat, so she's going to hang on. 41st, Ken Calvert, leading by about 8. It's going to be a little wider than that, 10 to 15 points. Robert Garcia, 42nd District, safe victory. Maxine Waters, 43rd, easy victory. Nanette Berrigan in the 44th, easy victory. Michelle Steele in the 45th District, she's leading by about 4 points. It's going to be a little wider than that, I think it's about 6, maybe 7. Lou Correa in the 46th, easy victory. 47th, Katie Porter. This one is going to be a narrow victory for her, 2 to 5 points. I may revise that in 2 weeks to a toss-up seat. Let's see what polling does. And let's see what the national environment does. If the national environment reaches something like R plus 5, R plus 6, I'm going to put this in toss-up. Daryl Issa, 48th District, safe victory, more than 20 points. Mike Levin over at the 49th. Same story as with Katie Porter. For now, it's 2 to 5 points for Levin. I can revise it in the future to be a toss-up. We'll see. 50th, Scott Peters, safe victory. Sarah Jacobs in the 51st, safe victory. Juan Vargas, 52nd, easy victory. 7 ballot measures. The first one is legalizing late-term abortion in the California Constitution. Yeah, so that conspiracy theory that was that Democrats want to make third trimester legal. It's not a conspiracy, it's an actual fact. Proposition 26, legalize sports betting on American Indian land. Basically, it legalizes sports betting at casinos and racetracks. Proposition 27, legalize sports betting and revenue for sports betting, and there's a 10% tax on it, and all that money will be sent towards homelessness prevention. Proposition 28, 1% of the funding for education needs to be in arts and music in the K through 12 system. And there's a bunch of other stuff. You can pause the video if you want to read it. I won't go further. Proposition 29, which is going to be financial disclosure for clinics. So if any individual owns more than 5% of it, it needs to be disclosed. And this one is the kicker. Written consent is required from the patient before reducing any services to that patient. So you can kind of see why multiple things are dumped into the same ballot measure. Proposition 30. Income tax for anyone above 2 million, which is about 1.75% tax hike for those individuals. And it is used for electric vehicles and wildfire prevention. Well, they claim it's going to be. But we all know how Democrats work. Proposition 31, which is the seeing if the ban on flavored tobacco will be held in place. So if you vote yes, there will be a ban on flavored tobacco. If you vote no, the flavored tobacco ban will be repealed. Now for a quick roundup, State of Hawaii. Joshua Green, Lieutenant Governor for David Icke. He's going to win by more than 20 points, easy victory. Brian Schatz, easy re-election. 1st District, Ad Case, easy re-election. 2nd District, Jill Takuda, she is going to succeed Mr. Kaele, who decided to run for governor. And it's going to be by more than 20 points. Oregon. This one is going to be a funny one. There's a 3-way race between Democrat, fellow Democrat, and Republican. So we have Kotek, which is directly connected to the Brown administration. You have Christine Drazan, which is the current Senate Majority Leader, I think. And you have Betsy Johnson, which is also an independent senator in the state of Oregon. Yeah, so they play spoiler. Johnson and Kotek. And due to that reason, Drazan is leading with about 3 to 5 points, and that's going to also be the margin of victory. Now, the thing with Oregon is the same as other states, and you have to reach the 50% mark, otherwise you get a runoff. There is probably going to be a runoff, and if it's between Johnson and Drazan, then you're going to see Johnson winning. If it's going to be Kotek and Drazan, then it's going to be Drazan winning, because the majority of Johnson's votes is against Kotek. So that's going to be the thing you have to watch out for. Currently, it leans Republican, and that's where I'm going to keep it at for now. I will be discussing this one in 2 weeks again, similarly with other governor races that are competitive. Senate, Ronald Wyden, easy victory. 1st District, Suzanne Bonamici, easy victory. This is northeastern section. Cliff Vance, this is Eastern Oregon, easy victory for him. Earl Blumenauer, which is Portland region, easy victory. 4th District, this is Peter DeFazio's district, so that's southwest. He's retiring currently. RCP has it a toss-up. I'm going to treat it as a narrow victory for Val Hoyle. And due to national environment, it may actually be subject to flipping. So I'll keep an eye on this. 2 weeks to get more data. 5th District, Kurt Schrader lost the renomination. And it's going to be between McLeod Skinner and Chavez de Remer. It's a pure toss-up. It's going to be a narrow race. And if I had to put money on it, this one is going to flip. It's going to be Chavez winning. 6th District, this is newly created. Pure toss-up. And depending on the national environment, it could either be Salinas or Erickson. Yeah, so it's a 2-to-1 guaranteed. And the other 3 districts, they If two of them go Republican, it's a split delegation, which is going to be fun in case no one in 2024 reaches 270 votes in the Electoral College. It's going to be fun. 4 ballot measures. The first one is healthcare. It amends the Constitution to say that healthcare is a human right, essentially. That the Oregonian citizens, which includes those that aren't American in the first place, they have a right to cost-effective and appropriate healthcare. Next constitutional amendment is the remove slavery as punishment. This is a fun one because, like other states, Oregon actually already bans it. So it does literally nothing, except for urging prosecutors to not incarcerate anyone. Measure 113, this one is essentially stating that those that refuse to attend any sessions where no debates are being held, they can be removed from office if they do it 10 times in their session. So there were several instances in Oregon in which the Republican minority left the state because the Democrats refused to debate issues and want to just ram through any piece of legislation. And the Democrats are basically saying, you attend or you will be removed from office. So this is that piece of constitutional amendment that they want to push through. Last one. Changes to firearm ownership in the state. Basically it says requires permitting, requires photo ID, safety training, background checks, all that constitutionally violating garbage. And then it essentially incorporates Canada's bullshit. Clear summary, this is a violation of the NRA versus Bruin, and under no particular circumstance will this be accepted by the Supreme Court or the District Court in this, or the Circuit Court in this particular scenario, because it simply fails to abide by the text, history and tradition of the Second Amendment. Finally, Washington. Senate race. Patricia Murray against Tiffany Smiley. Currently, I think it's a lean victory between 5 to 10 points, but I have to analyze polling again, and if it's getting closer, then I'm probably going to discuss this one in 2 weeks again, because it actually may become a toss-up. Regarding Washington, the closest victory that Murray ever had was about 3 points, and this was in 2010. So it has the capacity to actually be a close state. Washington first, safe victory for Susan Del Bene. Second district, Rick Larson, easy victory. Third one, Joe Kent. He beat Herrera Butler in the primary, and he's going to win more than 10 points, probably. I think it's ridiculous that anyone would consider this particular district a toss-up. Fourth district, Dan Huhouse. He barely won the primary. And he's going to win safely because this is a Republican district. They're not going to have a Democrat, even if that means getting rid of one of the impeachment 10. Kathy McMorris. She's going to win easily. And I made a little mistake here. That's fine. Derek Kilmer. Safe victory. Pramila Jajapal. Easy victory. Kim Schreier. This is a pure toss-up district. It's going to be less than 5 points. We're going to keep an eye on this one, and we'll see where it's going to end. Adam Smith. Easy victory. Mary Strickland. Easy victory. Furthermore, there are 2 amendments they want to push through. An aircraft fuel tax. Basically, Should the fuel tax be 11 cents per gallon or 18 cents per gallon? And the last one is a transportation network companies tax. It would essentially implement a tax on ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft. And that was it for this particular subdivision. Thank you kindly for watching. Leave a like if you liked. You know, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.